Yeah, so that's ready to rock.
Good morning. Welcome to the Detail Did It podcast. Man, it's good to be here. So, quick, let me put this out there. I was driving from Colorado, from Vail, right, which is North Colorado.
All 27 seconds of fun?
Dude, all 27 seconds, but we got in about 1:30. I got about 3 hours of sleep. And you ever have like one of those dreams after traveling forever where you feel like you're still driving and you wake up and you freak out? I had that in my bed this morning. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm home, man. Got home, made some bean and cheese nachos, which took forever because we didn't have tortilla chips. So you got to cut the corn tortillas, fry them up, put the beans on, because you always have 10 cans of refill.
Full scratch?
Dude, I went full scratch for my sweetheart, man. I'm telling you.
Man.
But man, I was like, I got to get there this morning. I've been excited to meet with you guys. Chad, what y'all are doing, man, you're setting the way for podcasts. And I feel like I can't truly go hard on my podcast until I give my respect to, the guys who are trying to make it happen in San Antonio.
So, I appreciate that.
Yeah, here he is.
Thank
Pay
you.
my dues.
Thank you.
Which is funny, because we just have fun with this.
We just,
Yeah.
See, look, blank table right now.
Yeah. Yo, I'm still talking into mics and stuff. I like the brick, you guys are legit.
You want some headphones?
Man, might as well, bro.
Hey, for those watching, man, Chris has been going in on our brick this entire...
Chad, both of y'all are players in the industry, right? So, just for the sake of being a veteran advocate, right? I sent a lot of veterans to a lot of builders. This isn't what y'all call upgrade, right? Because brick, this is not what you consider an upgrade brick.
In my experience, I believe that this would pass a VA loan appraisal.
It absolutely would, because it's irrelevant, right? It's like a Party City plastic. It looks like a table. It's supposed to be one of those tables so the kids can spill their ice cream on it.
You nailed it. Wait for it.
Yeah.
Party City too.
Dang. Yo, y'all are splurging. Yo, budget your money. We might need this podcast to go further.
By the way, speaking of that money, if you guys want to advertise here on this podcast, we can get a real brick wall, and I'd appreciate that. Hey, 210-319-0569 with that paper.
The wall is fake, but the flag is real, man.
That's real.
Mad respect for that.
That's right.
So that's
that
good.
is right.
That's good. But man,
I'm
excited to be out here.
Man, I thank you for coming, man.
Yeah.
For being here, so
yeah,
I'm excited.
I'm feeling the story covering right now. Our brick wall.
I love our brick wall. Man, you guys want to know.
That's what the Drake in Your Feelings Challenge is about. Dealing with Chris dogging our fake wall.
No, that's not dogging, man. That's being transparent. We are going to tell. We're going hard. I love everything about this layer.
Magic behind TV. Look at that brick wall.
Man, that's
that's elevation B.
Taste that.
That's elevation.
Elevation A, elevation B.
Man, I've been watching y'all's podcast for a minute, dude. So it's always exciting when you come into a world and you're like, this is what it looks like behind the curtains. This is pretty tight. Yeah. Because like this much makes Facebook live, right? You see this much, but the stuff that's happening around is pretty dope, man. This part's fake. A lot of this is fake, but everything around it is pretty real, man.
Yeah.
This is just like.
Say that
Call me fake again.
Say it one more again. No, this really is a barbershop based podcast. So it started out about a year or some change ago, right?
Yeah.
With Detail. Everybody knows him, Derek Johnson. And so we're here sitting in South Crown Barbershop.
Yes.
You can actually, when you listen to our show, you'll hear clippers in
That's so
the
sick.
background. People are getting their haircut.
This is so sick.
And that's just real talk.
This
is
is
really
so
what
sick.
it is. And it's grown into something bigger. So we now have same mama, different daddy. We've got, which is a lawyer and a financial planner and advisor show.
Yeah.
We've got Numbers Don't. We've got Calvin Jackson. What was it? Hubert Streets Brown.
With
Fist
Up Fridays.
With Fist Up Fridays. We've got of course the Detail Did It podcast.
Dude, and I'm double dipping in this podcast. I'm taking this audio and I'm gonna put it on our platform. So I'm riding with y'all, man. I'm riding with you.
Talk about your podcast because you have a new podcast.
Yeah. Man, okay, so here's the thing, right? Because everybody's now doing podcasts. And so formatting, editing, I got with us today in studio Daniel. He's that's my dude.
Oh, say hi to the cameras for us.
All the magic that happens in the video. Not for hire, by the way.
Today.
Not for hire at all. But with starting a line mortgage, man.
I'll give you my card.
Yeah. That's everybody in the industry giving Daniel cards. But I spent about an hour on Indeed.com. Like, that's still a thing, right? And so I read through about 100 interviews or resumes, and then I saw Daniel's, and he had made a little MTV kind of rap video that won a prize, and I was like, damn, that's kind of a dope video. The lyrics were not that cool, and I won't call that dude out, and Daniel was probably Daniel's homie, but the angles and the way he was moving stuff, and I said, that dude has to document the way veterans buy houses in our office. If I can take a dude from a rap video producing world and put him in mortgages, we can make some cool stuff. So everybody's like, yo, Line Mortgage, man, y'all are dropping some hot videos and stuff, and I got to give credit where it's due to Daniel.
Awesome.
Your videos
Good
are sick.
job.
Yeah, thank you.
They are sick, I know.
It makes me want to go buy a home all over again. Just to be a part of that experience. Like, your videos are great.
I feel like I was done a disservice when I bought mine because nobody cheered me down the hall.
Nobody cheered you down the hall?
I was so sad.
Dang.
I was so sad.
You know what I would do? Don't pay him. Just stop paying your mortgage. If you feel like you want to talk to your mortgage professional, stop paying them, and they'll call you every day forever.
Yeah.
And make them want you.
They will call you.
You want a party, you get that party.
They will call you.
Yeah. But man, the podcast that we're starting, it's exciting because we're calling it Soup Sandwich, and the term for soup sandwich in the military is it's a mess, right? You might have a guy or a girl with a completely wrinkled uniform, and you're like, man, you're a soup sandwich today. You're a mess. Right? Get yourself squared away. So the purpose of Soup Sandwich is to describe the mess that's happening in our industry and bring resolution to it, right? It's not just a gossip, trend. It's something that we want to first make aware and then two, attack it, right? Absolutely. And I think that's kind of what y'all are doing. Right,
yeah,
y'all.
Absolutely.
Right. Episode 21. So how's it been going? Y'all getting some good feedback?
We've got some great feedback. I am surprised how many people are listening to us outside of San Antonio. This was started as just a local community empowerment kind of education show. Chicago was that chiming yesterday? New Jersey.
People are literally
California.
listening in Chicago.
Yes.
Shooting somebody and then tuning back in. Y'all are literally probably involved in some murders.
Well, probably because they interrupted our podcast. I agree. They're like, you just hold on, pause.
Boom. What did Chad say?
What is it?
Yeah. Contribution any way we can.
Hey man,
that's cool. That's cool.
And hopefully we said something empowering during that moment.
Yeah, during that moment.
I actually feel bad shooting that dude.
Yeah.
So spreading that from coast to coast, and so we love to bring the guest on, and of course for them to share their passion, why they got into the industry.
What about haters? You guys got any haters yet?
I wonder. We actually, let me take it back. I've been a hater.
Yeah. You're a hater?
It happens. It happens every once in a while.
We're starting to ship out.
So we had Open Door in Lennar, right? And so everybody knows how I feel about Lennar. And it's not going to change.
Yo, you went hard in the paint. I'm a sailor. I read that, and I was like, it's one of those where you got to just quick look, and then you're like...
But imagine me.
And I never...
I rep a building.
Yeah.
So I'm in the middle.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, so I had to play... I played all type of devil's advocate.
Yeah, you did. He was like, well, let me play devil's advocate if I can. Maybe they're thinking this, and I'm like, no, fuck Lennar. By the way, I still feel the same. Put it in the jar. I'll put it in the jar a little bit. I got a jar financier right now.
Yeah, so what's the worst, Chad? Because... partnered with P. Hams, right? He's super transparent. He tells you what it is, which in my opinion that works, right? Just keeping things real with people, letting them decide. Now, of course, trying not to influence too much, to sway other people's opinion, but sharing the facts. What do you think about that approach, man? Are you? I like it.
I love it.
You love it.
I love it, and I do it just in a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have to choose my words.
You seem real nice.
I go back and
you
forth.
You seem like you're coming out of sun. I see you. You got the tie.
Now you're trying to make me feel.
You got a hoodie.
So always.
Let me not redact my statement. I don't want to make any confusion. I'm not redacting anything I just said. That stands. With that said, I will take my clients to wherever I am ethically obligated to take them based on their search parameters, and that happens to be Lennar seminar and it's the right fit for what they need, they will be there and they will get sold. Other than that, the relationship with Open Door and the way they've gone about their business, no! F-le-nar.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by that. You guys know what I mean. By the way, for all of you, I don't mean each sales counselor. I'm sure you guys are great people and you go to church and we can have barbecues together. And when you're ready to come on the show and dispel any of my opinions and beliefs about what's going on, you're welcome.
That hasn't happened yet.
No, because
21 episodes.
You want to know who did come on after my shit talking?
Who?
Open Door.
Open Door came
on the show. Anyways, let me just chill.
Yeah.
Just saying.
No.
I'm a very nice guy.
Yeah, you're a nice dude.
But oftentimes I tell people I do just look like this because you don't know my background. You know what I mean? So I've had to groom myself into what you see today.
You don't get the name The Tank. For no reason.
Have you ever murdered anybody?
No.
Ah, cool.
No, I've seen it around me.
Yeah.
In front of me.
It's been weird, huh?
Yeah.
Was it Patrick?
Nah.
It wasn't bad. He's like, I seen it. Yo, what do y'all want to talk about?
Yeah, we can talk about anything, man. So what's going on? There's a huge wave.
Yeah.
I know San Antonio's feeling it.
Dude.
It's all over social media.
Yeah.
And you're going out there and you're dispelling everything.
Trying.
All the beliefs about the whole VA benefits.
There is no trying.
You're just educating.
Yeah.
You're educating. You're in front of people.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Thank you.
Tell us about that. I know, obviously, former
Navy.
Military.
Yep.
Navy. There's a huge conviction behind what you're doing, and so talk a little bit about what you're doing out here.
All right, man. So first off, thank you guys. Man, y'all go hard at having fun for like 30 minutes. I love that. So, but a little background. When I typed in how to get to this podcast, I was like, we're kind of going in, this side of town. I ain't been around here in a while. I grew up on the southeast side of San Antonio. I called that the hood. Rigsby Apartments, my dad drove a church bus and he made me get out and knock on doors in weird areas, right? And I'm like, yeah, keep an eye on me. If I'm not back in 5 minutes, don't go to church, right? But I have this mindset that our type of family, our type of demographic, we didn't buy homes, we lived in them. And so I joined the military kind of for patriotic reasons and kind of because I didn't do the college application thing, In the service, man, I met what I consider kind of like a second father figure. He taught me about economics, taught me about home buying, and that turned into 7 homes on the island of Oahu. And for me, I always kept that picture of the house I grew up in. I still use it in my presentation today, 544 Home Green Road. And so I never let it really get to a point where, I'm crushing it, I'm killing it. I always still think of that young Hispanic. I think of that dude. And that's the stuff that's real to me. Like, I think it's cool helping people buy their second house, their fifth house. But it's that one Hispanic dude that's like 58 years old. You can see it in his eyes. He worked 20-hour days trying to provide. Mom goes to WIC and gets the free milk and cheese. And when we close on that home, like, dude, it's cutting onions in the office, man. My eyes start burning, so I'm a glutton for that. Yeah. And so every time we're, putting up a flyer, we're sharing a video, there's a motivator behind it. I want that feeling as many times as possible. I want that closing. I want those 2 kids to fight over the bedroom because they've been living in the same bed. Or, man, we got veterans who, were living in cars 5 years ago, sharing their testimony with their first home buy. So, man, there's urgency there. There has to be urgency. Yeah. There's no way we can chill knowing that, you got service members out there living with the wrong mindset. And people think it's due to lack of education. And I think it's a lack of education and a lack of motivation. So all those individuals out there that are like, I'm going to start a seminar. It's more than that, man. You got to motivate and educate. How do we merge those words?
Educate?
Educate. Motivate.
Motivate.
Motivate is what we're talking about, man. Motivate. That's what we're doing, man.
So it's funny you say that because I only know, I don't only know, but I know you to be the VA seminar guy.
Yeah.
Truth about the VA benefits.
Yeah.
And now, just like how you mentioned, you're seeing more and more podcasts. I'm seeing more and more VA
seminars.
Yeah. Experts.
With experts.
Certifications.
Yeah. Certifications.
I've got a couple of certifications. Don't say to a military member that you understand how they feel after they've come back from deployment. Duh.
Yeah. You know
what PCS means. Permanent change of duty station.
Permanent change of station. Here's how you ask for the clothes. You know, I think a lot of people, we live in Military City, right? Mm-hmm. And so we got to call it what it is. The reason for the truth about the VA Home Loan Seminar, along with everything I just said, is we first and foremost have to identify that there's a problem. 85% of our veterans not utilizing their benefit. There's a problem. It's not just because they all have bad credit. It's not just all because, Patrick doesn't know what PCS means or he knows what... all of that is it's crap. Banks and lenders have ruined everything, bro. And, we got banks and lenders blaming it on realtors, right? Mm-hmm. And for that, it's just kind of this back and forth. And who loses is the client. What's real? What's not real? Do I have to pay these fees? Do I not? Do you really need a 640 credit score? Do I not? And so the truth about the seminar, it's like a step one. It's basic. It's like come in and get some coffee, get some tacos, sit your butt down, erase everything that you've heard, all the, leave it at the door. We're going to tell you how easy this thing is.
Man, and talking about the tacos.
Dang, the tacos.
Mom Dukes throws it down.
Yeah, she gets
Mom
down.
Mom caters it, man.
Yeah, people are like, that is genius marketing. And I'm like, dude, that is budgeting. Cooks for so many of our
Leading with revenue.
Leading with revenue, yes. Yeah.
And Yolanda Douglas Stewart, we see you. Let us know what side. We can definitely contact you today. Definitely if you have a buyer looking for a new home.
So that's a realtor?
We don't know.
What is WIA?
Where
you at? Where you at?
I got you.
We got you.
Dang.
Wherever you're at, I got you.
Yeah, so man, in the spirit of these seminars popping up, everything that works, you guys know, eventually becomes a trend, right? Mm-hmm. Everything that's pure, and that's the thing that sucks about marketing, right? Is people that do, really cool things. Essentially, people watch it. They either early adopt and they get on board, like Gary Vaynerchuk talks about, or they're like, I'm gonna wait for them detailed tips to get to podcast 39, and then I'm gonna start mine, right? Yeah. They're watching the haters, seeing if anybody's commenting, and same thing with the seminar. You see the full house. You see the Whitty Museum. You see 100 veterans and realtors and insurance agents, but you don't see 29 days of relentless grind. I mean, I'm on base every Monday doing a TAPS briefing, talking to 30 people. I'm driving to Killeen. I mean, dude, we're going and doing seminars in San Diego or in Hawaii. Man, we are putting in the work. I got a whole team behind it. You see how does, like, Eric Thomas, y'all keep up with Eric Thomas? Thank God it's Monday, right? He talks about it. You see the ring, but you don't see the workouts, right? Yeah. So that's why... No weapon formed against me shall prosper, man. You bring on every seminar out there, man. There's 3 people that show up to your first seminar. You get burned out, and you go try something else because it was never about passion. It was about marketing, and that's where I'm going to smash you, period. And I wish they would succeed, dude.
So you always have a high turnout?
Man, we've been blessed for about a year now of having a pretty good turnout. It's starting to get to a point where the marketing is a snowball. We got realtors that are so bought in. They're bringing 10 to 15 people at times, and that allows us to kind of focus on other arenas and whatnot. But we're seeing a pretty consistent turnout. It's been a blessing.
And I love what you're bringing up there because, like, it's the general public, especially those that think, like, when you work with a client, like, I think I want to get my real estate license. Like, you don't understand what we did Monday through Friday just to have you come into our orbit, our world, or us into yours. You don't even know what
you make it look easy.
Out there.
You make it look easy.
And then we go shopping and hey, arm in arm, it's fun. And it ain't like that.
Let me share something with y'all real quick. It's kind of biblical. I'm going to prophesy real quick. Okay. I heard a message where it talked about how, like, when God's people were being led out of Israel, right? And so they're going through the Red Sea, and because the Egyptians saw the Israelites going through the Red Sea, they were like, oh, cool, this is straight. And then what did God do, right? Closed it up, right? Because it was not for them, but because they made it look easy, these individuals thought they could do it. God was like, that's not your blessing, smash. And so as you guys are setting a trend and you're pressing forward, I sometimes would in the past get distracted, like, really, you're going to call your seminar The Truth? Really, you worked for me for like 2 months after not ever being in the industry. You quit, and now you're starting your own VA more. Like, all that stuff, dude, it used to get at me, but I was like, I'm going to let the Red Sea handle that.
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say anything more about that.
Yeah.
But then, it's like, as crazy as it sounds, you should be flattered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
They obviously admire something that you were doing and wanted to pretty much steal it. So, or copy it, and so we look at that compliment. I look at it.
And the fact of the matter is,
man, you are a good cop, dude. You really are a good cop. You're a devil's advocate.
Hey man, life's all about perspective.
Amen.
So when you saw that,
yeah,
what you just said was, man, I used to get up in arms. I used to get frustrated, and then your perspective shifted.
Amen.
It's like, you know what? I'm not really
I'm
doing that
training.
anymore. Why would I feed fire to that?
Here's the fact: I train everybody that I hire to replace me on purpose. Mostly just because I'm lazy and I don't want to do it anymore.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's my job to make them stay. When somebody wants to bounce out, I have made them recruitable.
Amen.
You know what I mean? By not doing it. So,
Amen. Man, I had a coach tell me once, the majority of trips that happen are when people walk backwards. Mm-hmm. Walking forwards, you trip less often. So don't look back and you won't trip, right? So
turn it to a pillar of salt.
Amen, dude. Amen. Ooh, yeah. That swear jar is turning into a tithe plate in a second.
Yeah,
church in here.
Yeah, I got in and asked for forgiveness for earlier. Man. Lennar, I apologize. Judge lest not you be judged.
Dude, at the end of the day, like I have mad respect. Y'all know how I feel about Smothers, right? And he's with Bella Vista. Yeah. Smothers knows how I feel about Chad Cook with Perry Holmes. I got mad love for Brian Pena. Is it? Can you say Armadillo still? Is it? New Horizon.
New Horizon. It's
Horizon View Home.
No. So they're Armadillo, but it's a viewpoint home.
Is it a Jaguar? Is it a Jaguar?
No,
Jaguar.
No, they're blended.
See, that's my point though. We don't even know the name of it, but that's our boy. And so, when people, and I posted something about people getting jealous, like, yo, you're working with Chris at a line. I got mad haters, just so y'all know. Y'all see, like, the dude who's broing out with y'all, but I got a lot of people, I got a lot of hate for what's going on. And I'm like, dude, that's probably just because you don't know how to be homies. Like, just chill.
If you have hate in your heart, let it out.
Yeah, let it out, right? Yeah, or I'm going to beat it out of you. But, I could kick it with y'all regardless of the polo shirt, the logo. Like, we could just rap, And I think people get so caught up on, who you with again? Oh, I'm just with the People organization. I live on Earth. I just want to add value before I die.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, no. I meant like what builder. I know what you meant, right? But you suck because you are wanting to label me. I get what you're doing. You're wanting to label me. I'm a human trying to help humans. Right?
Jeez. This is not my medium.
There's something that you do at your seminars where I really appreciate it, and you actually start the entire seminar by saying, if you're here to sell people, because we have a lot of realtors and builders, right?
Yeah.
If you're here to sell people, I'm going to ask you to leave.
Amen.
You've really created a safe haven for those that come in and learn and get educated and figure out, man, how do I own a piece of the pie?
Amen.
And I love that.
Well, dude, y'all are the experts, and Patrick, I'm going to SOAR. I'm going. How much is it before I commit to it? Sorry.
$497.
Oh. I'm trying to make it to SOAR.
First session's free. First hit's free.
But y'all don't need me to tell y'all, man. Everything is relationships, and you ain't forming no relationship in 10 minutes. A lot of people, the ambulance chasers, right? They're waiting outside the seminar with their cards, and they're about to get a deal. But our goal is to protect every veteran there, like you said, man, a safe haven. Odds are, another agent has sent them there that wasn't able to make it themselves. So we try to protect that. We still, we mess that up from time to time. We get, we make mistakes, piss people off. But hey, our intents are good.
It happens, and it's. I love what you said about the sale part. I used to sell advertising. I used to sell a lot of things for that matter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What like newspaper?
But like newspaper. A lot of dropping off. But really, I've been in sales my whole life, and when I got into real estate, I never looked at it as being in sales.
Yeah.
I feel like the only sale that does happen is you being genuine, being authentic, and the person might get sold on working with you. However, the first time you sell somebody a house, you're probably gonna have a lawsuit if you're selling them that.
I need to take notes.
That commission, Brad.
This is good.
You don't sell anybody a house, you guide them in the right direction.
Yeah.
So you guide people in the right direction.
A wise man once told me the only difference between a con artist and yourself is the intent.
Well, dang.
You know what I mean? And so if your intent,
like
if your intent is there, if it's all good, you're truly about humans and serving and being relational and building those relationships. I mean, the rest is going to take care of itself. If your only factor, which is driving you, is the dollar.
Yeah.
You're in it for the
Oh,
right
you're
reason.
you're
going to crash.
everything in my life comes to me from when I'm just having fun.
Yeah,
exactly.
I keep trying, pushing for the dollar, only the dollar. Like, there's a reason why I'm not in the rap game.
Yeah.
I was only doing it for the money. My mission was to get something printed, put out there, and sent.
I mean, there might have been some other things where you make it.
You're about to find out.
You know, but what I was going to say to that is I had a cool friend of mine. He was in car sales, and he told me, dude, just remember this one thing. He would say it to the people walking on the lot. My goal is not to sell you a car today. My goal is to sell you your next car. Mm-hmm. And with that, you know, you alleviate the sale and you make room for the relationship.
Exactly.
Because when you take your mindset out of close today and close in 6 months, you now have to ask a bunch of fun stuff like, oh, what are your kids' names? Cool. Where do they, you know, hang out? What are their hobbies? You got to care about the person. Right. And some people just aren't good at caring about people.
They don't. It's funny. That part has always come naturally because I just talk too much. Something too much. There's no such thing. No. I just talk a lot. I like to know about people. I'm very interested in what they do.
When we first met, you were like super. Like I was like, whoa, how does Patrick know me? But you talk to people like that.
I just keep it real.
Like you look like the dude. Like if you come over to somebody's house for the first time, you have no problem spending the night. Like you'll just crash, and you're like, yo. Who brought Patrick? He's still asleep on the couch. Yeah, he's just super comfortable.
Can I get cereal in the
Lucky
Charms?
Yeah.
And the kids are cooking eggs.
But no, you just have that conversation, and it's funny because a lot of people take classes similar to SOAR, by the way.
Yeah. Is SOAR an acronym?
And you know, SOAR is an acronym.
What does it stand for?
Success Other Agents Realize.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we interview a lot of iconic agents across the country and figure out what they've realized and how to get where they are.
What came first, the acronym? Or what it means?
Well, you know, actually, the interviews came first. The acronym really did come later.
Okay. So it was SOAR first, and then you were like, let's make it.
Well, no, SOAR didn't even exist. It was just Icon Coaching.
Okay.
And so Sean Kokosa, the founder, was actually interviewing and working with and coaching companies like T-Mobile, McDonald's, and then, of course, top producing agents and lenders across the country. People that are doing like 4,000, help. Serving 4,000 families a year.
Yeah.
Doing 4,000 units.
So when people must ask, like, why would Patrick Hammonds, who is coaching, give away his secret recipe? How do I know that it's SOAR? I'm not just getting what Patrick used to do 4 years ago, but he's saving the meat for himself.
Yeah, that's a good question. And the fact of the matter is, I'm training and coaching every single brokerage for a reason.
Yeah.
So I used to coach for one company that was singular and it was in-house to one brokerage.
Yeah.
Now I teach everybody that game for one reason: selfishness.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it is. Everybody talking. Have you heard about the inventory shortage? There's no inventory. There's no inventory.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. Well, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, God, there's no inventory. I got to keep all this info to myself and get these listings. But then one day I had an epiphany and I realized if every agent across all brokerages knew how to go create listings rather than just wait to get one, there wouldn't be an inventory shortage.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be that multiple offer situation where you and 20 other agents put an offer on a house and you just kind of wait. Like, the client's like, are we going to win? This is like eBay right now. I don't know. We're waiting to see when the bids close. That's the world I want to create. That's
you know why we have an inventory shortage? Builders. Builders.
You can't build fast enough.
Builders.
Buy more land.
Man. Oh.
I'm listening. I would love to hear.
I always, here's a hypothesis. Builders have to keep up with costs, right? We're building bigger houses. If the new millennial family is like 2.3 people, you and your sweetheart and poodles or waffles, there aren't just a lot of those size homes in a new build world. Now, y'all may be different, but what we're talking about is, the square footage is getting bigger, and I think the perception is changing. A veteran or any home buyer thinking, man, I can't afford that. This is our first house, right?
Yeah.
And baby boomers aren't moving out of houses. They're dying in them.
85% of baby boomers will not put their home on the market in the next 5 years.
Some may call it rude.
Jerks.
No.
Downside.
Mad love for the baby boomers. Yeah. Baby boomers, mad respect, right? But, it's making it difficult because inventory is, our attention's shifting to the new build world. And we're having to get to the outskirts. And, it's just creating a little bit of a traffic jam, I think, right?
Just a little bit of a traffic jam.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Well,
Not
if
too
you
bad.
do need inventory, I have well over 30 inventory homes in the Callison Range. Come see me.
It's affordable, it's suitable, and it fits all your family's wants and needs. So let me ask you all this, because for the sake of me double dipping in this podcast, I almost feel like I want to interview y'all kind of, Because
I was wondering. I felt that table.
You felt it. Yeah, you were like, yo, time out, man. We got an agenda. Hold on. Yeah. But I always like to ask this question to people in the industry. When you're focused on helping a veteran, a first-time home buyer become, somebody that's owning a piece of the country that they've defended, what are some things that you guys bring up to them, or what things do you think they need to know other than it's got granite countertops and the cabinets are made out of oak? Like, what are some things veterans who are active duty here in San Antonio?
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, what should they know?
So it's one of the things I run into. Sadly, like you said, 85% of us don't really know what they don't know.
Right.
And unconscious incompetence. And so
I love that.
What I do is I educate them on the fact that when they pick up the phone and call about, is this home for lease?
Yeah.
The first question out of my mouth is, have you considered buying?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, well, I have and I can't. We like to quickly figure out that is true or not true.
I love it.
Because it's no down payment. We know that much, right?
Right.
No mortgage insurance. We know that much, right?
Yeah.
And then depending on their tax liability or disability level, I should say, maybe no taxes. So can you be a buyer versus a renter? Because you're going to actually put down a deposit on a 3-bedroom house at $1,500 a month. That's $1,500. Then you're going to pay first month's rent. That's $1,500. There's $3,000 right there that you would not have probably spent at all by just using your VA home loan benefits.
Beautiful.
It blows my mind. And when I say that to them, like, oh, so I can just like slide right out of this lease and into home ownership? I'm like, yes, and if we do it just right, you might just get your entire earnest money check back.
So that's a beautiful.
You might feel like you got paid.
So you're like basically telling them that you got this beautiful drill, and it's the fastest drill, and if you bring the drill back, we'll get you back a deposit. It's like this is the. But I think veterans, why do I need a drill? Like, why am I at Home Depot again buying this drill? And I think a lot of mortgage professionals in this industry hype up the VA loan, and I'm like, the veteran's not there yet. You're still hyping up a good loan product. Just like me, you could tell me the VA loan is 0 down and it's the best and it's the cheap. And I'm like, remind me, what am I even, why a VA loan? Why? What do I need a VA loan for?
Right. Now, I will tell you, I try and educate myself as much as possible in each loan program. Obviously, I'm not the expert, I'm not the lender.
Sure.
But I try and educate to the best of my ability and what I know. To that prospective buyer that's coming in, that's considering leasing, saying, hey man, I'm only here 3 years, so we're probably just going to lease out, or we're going to lease and then try to find this. Like, why? Let me ask you a question, why? Let me understand more about your current situation so I can help you.
Yeah.
And so I think it's kind of digging and asking those right questions and kind of earning the right to move forward in that next part of the process.
What I'll share with y'all is the scariest fact for most veterans is, what am I going to do when I leave, right? And I got a lot of agents that are hyping up, buy a piece of the country that you've helped defend. Real estate appreciates, right? Cool, but over what window? Because I'm here for 3 years. I'm going to get stationed at, Fort Sam Houston. I may get, PCS'd over to Fort Hood, or then what?
Right.
Then call me and I'll list it for you and I'll give you a deal.
Oh man!
But remember, you're buying a house for 102.15%. You're going to pay an agent maybe 6%, maybe a little less if they give you a homie discount. Title and escrow 1%. You're about 110% underwater when you pull the trigger on that mortgage. So you're telling this veteran that they may have a chance of getting their money back. That's the riskiest thing that veteran will do.
No, so it's funny you say that. I never say that. Yeah. In fact, I'm always encouraging the whole legacy.
Yeah.
Jay-Z, right. So, legacy. How you can build a legacy with your VA.
Shout out to our legacy mutual friends, Joe Bass,
Sigmund.
I don't know a lot about that.
But really, you can build a legacy with your VA home loan, because you can PCS to one duty station, right? Okay, I'm just using the terms.
Let's say you could get aligned with your destiny.
You got your VA.
Yeah.
You got the house.
I love how you do that in.
Then you PCS to the next place.
Yeah.
Correct me wrong, you're the lender, not
me.
Please, go. Refinance that home.
Sure.
Into maybe a conventional loan.
Yeah. If you got 20% equity, I say.
Yeah. There's some stuff there.
Yeah.
And then so it frees up that VA loan.
Yeah.
So now you put a tenant in there that's paying your mortgage for you, building wealth. Now you do it again, and now you don't live in fear of why do I use my VA loan if I'm only going to be here 3 years? Well, because you're going to free it up We're going to get somebody in or pay your rent for you, free up your VA and use your VA and buy one here, and here, and here, and here. Now you've got 12 rental properties, and you've got wealth that's appreciating and going over time.
Dude, what is fear?
You're building a portfolio.
Right? False evidence appearing real.
That's right.
And so the good book says that, we weren't given a spirit of fear, but of sound mind, body, discernment, right? And that comes with wisdom. And so you're hitting the nail on the head, because when a veteran raises their hand and says, yeah, dude, it's just, risky. Buying a home is risky. I'm like, cool, let's just wrap real quick. You get $1,700 a month of BAH, which is basic allowance of housing from Uncle Sam. That times 3 years is $54,000. You decide to go sign a lease and live on base housing, you're giving $54,000 back to the government. There's a 100% chance you'll never see that money again. What is riskier than a 100% chance loss? Right? If I run a blackjack table in Vegas and put up a sign saying, if you sit here, 100% chance you'll lose your money, odds are you walk around a little bit more at the casino and look for a table that gives you a shot. So I'm like, I love risk analysis. If you rent, you'll 100% never see that money again. Cool. Sure. Let's look at the other side of the coin, though. Can I buy a house? Can it fit my family's wants and needs for a short period of time? And can I rent it out and recoup the majority of that mortgage, right? And so we try to explain that, RMAs, and we won't even get into the 1099s or the taxes that come with it, because a lot of people think, well, I'm losing $200 a month. I'm like, you're not losing crap, bro. That's going to your mortgage. You're writing off the interest, you're writing off the taxes, the depreciation, the property management fees. By the time you get to the end of the year, that money's coming back either way. Right. And you wake up in 30 years when your kid's no longer 6, but they're 36, and there's a paid off mortgage because you stopped living in fear. And so the only way to overcome fear again is by understanding. And the problem with sales is we're the ones trying to explain and give them the understanding, but we're commission driven, yo.
They dispel that right up front. I have those conversations all the time. I'm like, listen, guys, I love you, appreciate your business. The commission that I earn from the sale of this house, I am going to spend this before you make your first mortgage payment. Yeah. Most likely.
Like drug addiction?
I can't sleep like that, right? Yeah. I didn't say what on.
I'm going to say what I'm going to spend.
I'm going to stay in the gap.
Yeah, I'm like, you're going through that tonight. Chad's like, yo, put some away before you stay. Put somebody away.
But in the grand scheme of what's important in the scale of what they're buying, I mean, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Yeah. Just knowing that, like, that one is going to be gone. They have to stay in that house.
Yeah. And, driving in from Lubbock, you have a lot of time to think about everything in the world, right? So I was thinking about it. I used to be a club promoter.
Yeah. What's your best place?
You still look like a club promoter.
Oh, dude, shower. Yeah, you still look like a club promoter. Well, you're stupid. You too. Come. Yeah. Get on the table. But, my success of being a promoter in Hawaii, dude, I never drank, when I was it was business. I wasn't one of those guys being stupid. I used to ask the establishment, can I just get a percentage of the bar tab so we can do away with the door cover? And Waikiki, before, Trump put up his building, before Waikiki morphed into this, super posh place, it was kind of like old school gangster, you charge $10 at the door, 19-year-olds are getting smashed, wasted. Hawaii Pacific, University of Hawaii, these colleges used to come and have a blast. And we could charge at the door, but we're charging at the door and then we're hiking prices on the drink. We're double dipping. And that's how I feel about the mortgage world. When you got lenders charging these upfront VA lender fees, you're charging at the door, and then you basically took a bottle of, what's the most generic vodka they sell at Sam's?
Scott's.
Fancy for me. Whoa, Chad.
I don't know.
Damn baller. Yeah. I don't know. Smirnoff or Fruits. I'm like, But I feel like they're taking, and they're pouring it into a bottle of Goose, and they're serving it, right? And so I just wanted to create an establishment, a mortgage company, where we don't need to charge at the door. And that's literally how mortgages work. Either you're going to pay upfront junk fees, and the lender is going to make their money when they sell the servicing of your loan or service the loan themselves. Why do we need to do both, right? And so we're running thin on our mortgage margins and things like that. A lot of people hate on it. There's no way Chris can keep his margins where they're at. They're going to go out of business. And I'm like, dude, you don't know me. You don't know.
That's crazy. I've had that question come up. I'm like, man, I don't know how Chris's business model is set up. Why would you ask me? Ask Chris. I
make $60,000 a year. I pay myself $60,000 $100,000 a year salary. Period. I have other things in my life, portfolio-wise, that are helping out. And I feel like the people that have asked me, dude, how do you keep your margins where they're at? You're asking me that while making, $400,000 or $500,000. There's part of it right there. You're spending. Those rates that people are paying is feeding your lifestyle and your habit. I was that dude when I was a loan officer, making. I wanted to kill it. So there's no, mad respect to those that are getting out there, get there. Not everybody needs to be Mother Teresa and drop rates. But my crew's also bought in. I don't pay my LOs 150 basis points. Shout out to the recruiters who want to steal my loan officers. And you try to incentivize them by paying them 150 basis points. I have them at 100 basis points. You better come with a lot of passion, a lot of units, because I've had LOs get paid 150 elsewhere, come to me, and I'm like, congrats, you're getting a pay cut. But their units just go through the roof, right?
You got to ask people, like, what's more important to you? What you're earning for your family or the figure, the split? Right. Because we do the same thing as realtors and team owners. Like, well, I want a 70-30 split. I'm like, well, here, let me ask you this. Do you want to make $200,000 this year, or do you want to make $100,000 this year but have a 70-30 split? Which one's more important to you?
What's more? It's so crazy.
Like, I want a 70-30 split.
Yeah.
Well, then go to that other guy that's going to give you that.
Yeah,
you're not going
exactly.
to get that here.
It's when people ask like, hey, what do you pay your LOs and BIPs and stuff? I'm like, I don't know. How many units do you do? Right? It's like when people ask, what are your interest rates? I don't know. What's your credit score? Like what? So there's a conversation that has to exist there. Nick Ochoa, one of my loan officers, was getting paid 150 basis points before he came to work with us. And I said, what'd you make in 2017? He said, 80,000. Cool. Show me your W-2, 80 grand. After 4 months of working with us, he had passed 80,000 by getting 50 less bips. And he stood up in our staff meeting and he's just like kind of teary-eyed, was like, I want to thank you for not being that dude who's just like, 100 bips will do more, but really making that a thing. Being in tune as a leader and know what your real value proposition, because if you're just winning people based on commission, you suck as a leader.
Word.
Yeah.
And on that note, I'm going to lead the way and drop these beats.
Dang!
I thought we were going to get away with things.
No, I'm not. No,
that was like 4 years ago, bro.
Literally 4 minutes ago. But I'm about to drop these beats. So, guys, this has been a topic of conversation for the last, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
3 weeks. They called each other out. I'm just holding them accountable.
Yo.
Yeah, I'm just holding them accountable, man. So I'm about to drop these beats. You're about to hear a freestyle session from the man himself and P. Hams.
P. Hams, so because you said that this was your career, you got to start it off. Who's the guy in 8 Mile, the moderator? Kai Pfeiffer.
What was his name?
What
was the guy?
You mean bobbing on my sweater?
8 Mile. Kai Pfeiffer, what was his name?
He was called Universe, or his name was like...
Look at him, he's like, why? Because I'm black?
No, wait, Papa Doc. So P. Hams, Papa Doc today.
You're Papa Doc.
I'm Papa Doc?
I'm Eminem.
You're Eminem?
There we go.
I'm Cheddar. I'm like...
You're Cheddar Bob.
Yeah, I'm Cheddar Bob.
Man, here we go. I'm about to drop these beats, man. I hope y'all ready, because this is going down right now. Let's roll.
Can you turn up your headphones a little bit?
I gotta stare at my headphones.
It's there. We got a real live one going on.
All right.
Hey.
Shout out at Southtown, 10 South Flores, Real Team Reality Show, Chris Cato, Chad Cook, and myself, Patty Hams. All right. Here it comes.
Okay.
I got my boy.
Go. Okay. All right. No, I'm gonna interrupt.
Yo, chilling with Chris Cato from Alignment. I think you understand Cato's enlightenment. Over here educating about the VA truth. Y'all didn't know about yourself. Yeah, I'm stuttering. No words. I don't think you understand. You got to get served. Spit the hot fire. You know I don't stop when it comes to me. I'm taking it straight to the top, and the top is me. So do my clients. You know that I just don't buy them. And when it comes to violence, yeah, for sure, yeah, I'll try it. I'm not gonna stop at the spit. I'm gonna keep on warming up, cause you about to get hard with my hitting. And when it comes to me, you know, it's not really just top of the dome, man. You know I stay lit when I'm lighting up, fucking that puff. I'm not ashamed to say I smoke that stuff. I'm doing what I do, when I do, how I do, and what I do is keep it cool. You know that's true. So now it's your turn to flow. I'm about to pass it off to Chris Kano, Akano, tomato, whatever way you wanna say, and but where you go.
Uh-oh! Come on, Chad.
All right. When it comes to builders, we got big crooks, but I'm chilling with P-Hams and my boy Chad Cook.
Hey.
And talking about P-Hams, he's always on the slam. Keller Williams, seller billions. Tell your children it's where it's at, cause his pockets are fat, not from his commission, but speaking to fruition.
Hey.
Doing big things and building people's houses, and you're hearing in your ears, cause it's coming from our mouths. I don't freaking care if my flow makes sense, cause if it don't make dollars, then it don't make sense. Yo!
Don't stop that beat. Come on, keep on going and do how we do. This is Chris Cato from Align Mortgage off Austin Highway. And if you ain't heard of it before, just try my way.
Hey.
Listen to what I said.
Hey.
Don't always do what I do.
Hey.
I practice what I preach
Hey.
like 90% of the time, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping it real. You know how I do. You heard it. I'm transparent. And when it comes to the flows, you know that I'm not just flirting.
Oh, man.
Hey.
Yo, you're legit. I thought this was friendly. Did you say something about my mom? Can you rewind? Hold on, man. We were talking like commission. I think we talked about interest rates.
No.
You said something about my mom. That was like the most Dr. Seuss weird flow ever.
I'm in tears listening.
Yeah. You got kind of
That's
thug.
funny.
In a couple of your lines, you went real thug.
Yeah, sometimes the past comes in.
Yeah.
You can't take the thug out.
Yeah.
You know, just for the show, guys. I do rock the Thug Life Hammond's tattoo.
You have Hammond's
oh,
on
real,
your abs,
real talk.
dude.
I've got Hammond's across here. Everybody's got a pass, but that does not need to stop you from your future. So just to keep it real.
Yo, bro, you're in shape. You work out.
I do work out a little bit.
Yo, if I had a belly tattoo, that thing would be like, it'd be all weird. Yeah, stretch.
If you're on your side, then you can dance.
I guess, dude, when you get an ab tattoo, you better have a red.
You're right. You gotta,
be in the
and
gym.
you have to keep your stomach together.
Yeah, you better keep it together.
That thug turned into chug.
Right? You have a chug on there. No,
Damn,
that was some good stuff, and that was fun.
Man, that was fun.
Yeah, so real quick, let me drop this real
that.
quick
Oh,
because
yes.
we do, man, it's kind of hard to go from thug rap to slam poetry. Right?
I like
But,
it.
okay,
Some spoken word.
Yeah,
I
some
like
spoken word, man,
Alright.
that I wrote out not long ago. It says, my ambition is crazy, I'm counting my steps, always looking to max out, not respecting the reps. If my gift and my calling is to witness and speak, I'm letting you down week after week. Seminars and lectures always preventing me. Satan is fighting the me who I'm called to be, rendering me inactive, the laziest Christian. The devil's accomplished this VA loan mission. I'm talking about loans and systemized checklists, converting your talks to, why can't you text this? A room full of people in a museum in Texas, advanced strategies and at least 3 option exits. Slide after slide, convictions about rent. Jesus, please tell me, is my time being well spent? Spirit, help me, less of me, more of you. I'm talking about your son, trying to tell my whole crew. The numbers and volumes and lifestyle I once knew were temporary feelings that pull me from you. Satan may tempt me, but you always come through. My dad asked us to watch over mom, take care of each other as soon as he'd be gone. Resist the devil and all his temptations and know that Jesus is coming, so pray for salvation. But here I am, praying for patience, to know the difference of my loved ones and some of my fake friends. Buying more houses and now buying a building, more bricks and distractions, earthly possessions I'm yielding. Not for nothing, let these walls protect us. But if I'm called to be a leader, will let me direct us. If you follow me, I'll be clear where I'm going. I'm looking for Jesus while you're showing. I'm giving this briefing, but it won't lead you to him. So if you ask about rates, I'll probably give in. But know that I were a much better friend and tell you about Jesus and how he can save you from sin. I believe in the grind, but I also believe our days are measured and we're all in his time. And when we get judged, may his last words to you not be, depart from me, homie, for I never knew you. But my conviction is there, my ambition is strong. I'll tell him about Jesus before the day is gone. And when I wimp out and don't do it again, I pray that person's been forgiven of sin. Our call is to witness, not judge all our friends, but love them to death. That's where Christianity begins.
Oh,
Boom, now that's the mic
drop the
drop.
mic. I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And then like a battle rap. Written. It's written.
The battle's over, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Chris, man, it's been fun.
Thank you, man.
Really
that was
enjoyed having
great.
you on
That
the
was
show.
good.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Come back.
I'd love to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
back.
Like episode 152. 2 maybe. Let it breathe a little bit. Let's spread it out.
You guys need a little consistency first.
Yeah, I'd love to be back, and I'm gonna have y'all come on to what we got going on, man. Appreciate it, man. Much love for what y'all are doing.
So I gotta say, and apologize too. I mean, to myself, I guess in a sense. I've been missing our Bible study because this is where I've been at, setting up and doing and growing. So I gotta find an alternate time. I gotta figure it out.
Man.
But, so Chris, while you're here, I know you said it once or twice. How do people reach out to you and your LOs?
So the best thing to do is come see us at the Whitty Museum. We're the first Saturday of every month. So March 2nd is the next one coming up. We're there from 10 a.m. till noon. You can't miss it. Just drive to the Whitty. You'll see signs and balloons. Look us up on Facebook. Most people give out their websites, but I say type in your search bar, Align Mortgage of Texas. But don't reach out to me. Don't reach out to our loan officers if you just want to dabble in the idea of homeownership. If you're serious about it and you want to, have a good conversation, give yourself 45 minutes and come on down and visit us. We're on Austin Highway, but you'll get all that intel whenever you type us into the search bar. Align Mortgage of Texas. Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Good.
That's it, man.
That's it. But we're gonna end it on that. That was
perfect. We're wrapping up.
You guys know how to reach us
21.
anytime, so hit us up when you're ready. And until then, aloha.
Aloha.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.